All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining our talk today. I know there's some other competition, so we appreciate your time. Can we close the doors? Thank you. My name is Mike Marshall. This is my wife, Renia.
Hi.
They've only got one mic for us, so we're going to have to toss it back and forth and flip it. But we are naturopath practitioners. I'm going to start off with a little story. My brother, about 5 or 6 years ago, was diagnosed with cancer. He had a swollen lymph node on one side of his mouth or his throat. And we were looking for remedies, what to do. You know, what should I do? What should I do? It's cancer. Do I get it cut out? Do I do treatment? Do I do this? Do I do that? And we kept pushing him, do not cut it out. Whatever you do, just don't cut it out. So time goes by. Eventually, he gave in to peer pressure. His girlfriend, you know, she's worried. It's scary cancer, right? Cancer is scary. It still is to a lot of people, but so he eventually had that cut out. So he comes out of surgery, and they say, yeah, we cut your lymph node out, but we also had to take out a tonsil, right? So they're just in there pulling parts out without even telling him. So he comes out without a tonsil on the right side and without a lymph node. So now he's got all kinds of problems over here. So about a week or two later, they did a scan. They said, oh, you're completely cancer-free. No problem. We got it all. But we'd like to put you on a 6-month program of chemotherapy and radiation. We're like, okay, what would that involve? Well, you'll have to have a few radiation treatments every month for 6 months. So you're going to have to go to the dentist. You're going to have to pull 3 or 4 molars on each top left and right side of your mouth. You're going to have to pull all your teeth. And then the radiation is going to scar your larynx so bad that you're going to have to take speech lessons. And on top of that, because he's not going to be able to eat because his larynx is so burned up, they're going to have to put a feeding tube, right? And now he's going to have to eat and drink and do whatever he wants with the feeding tube. Mind you, this is cancer-free, right? They said they got all the cancer, yet this is what they wanted to do to my brother, make him a guinea pig. So we said, you know what? Hell no, we're not doing that, right? So it was about this time, Renia was getting into raw food and looking at juicing and following some people from Poland. She's from Poland. And a girl by the name of Raw Christina, right? So we had these two kind of worlds aligning. And my brother found a doctor out of Florida by the name of Dr. Robert Morse, which is where we eventually went to International School of Detoxification. We put him on a Dr. Morse protocol, and he's been cancer-free for 6 years, never had anything come back. And at that time, we also got into Dr. Morse because our driving force in our relationship has always been about health. We don't go to the doctor. We don't believe in allopathic medicine. I apologize for if there's any allopathic medicine practitioners here, but we don't believe in it. We think there's a much better way, and we're going to run through that. But so we had these two worlds colliding, and we said, let's go do this International School of Detoxification. This is the way to do it. So we did it. We put ourselves through, a year and a half, 2 years, detoxification. And we solved a lot of our health problems, and we continue to live that lifestyle. So we're New Vision for Life. Our logo, health is simple, disease is hard. If you've been sick, you know how hard it is to be sick, right? But when you're healthy, life's a piece of cake, right? So that's kind of the motto that we live by. Who are we? We're truth seekers, and we always have been, especially in this day and age. There's a lot to be, looking for and trying to digest, because, if you come from our perspective, everything we've been told is a lie. I don't care if it's history, I don't care what it is, but that's our perspective. So there could be even some controversial information we're going to share with you today, like sugar is actually good for you if it's the right kind, and proteins are actually bad for you, right? That's the exact opposite of what allopathic medicine will tell you. So who am I? I'm Mike Marshall. I've got a BS in science, civil engineering. Renata's got a master's in business. She was also in dentistry. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? Introduce yourself.
Yeah.
Sorry, we got to
Hi, everybody. So I spent 10 years in dentistry. So on the beginning, I was a surgical assistant. So I know everything from the, kind of medical point of view. And then later, after, a few years, I was managing offices. So I know everything about dentistry. I know how the system is working. That's why I left this, because that wasn't for me. Okay, I'm rather to be honest with people and try to help them the other way than regular allopathic society is doing. So so we graduate from International School of Detoxification in Florida with Dr. Robert Morse. We're certified detoxification and tissue regeneration specialist, also an iridologist. So based off iris photos, I can tell you everything about your health. I don't need any other tests or any other scans or blood work or anything else. So what do? We are, detoxify people, and then detoxify. And after that, when you detoxify yourself, you can regenerate like everything, and that's the key. Because when you have an unhealthy body, imbalanced body, you cannot, even if you regenerate something, that's gonna be still not that good. But when you remove all of the toxins from your body, all of the acid, and bring into the balance, you can be healthy, as you never been.
So some of the illnesses that we were experiencing, chronic allergies, I couldn't get out of bed in the morning unless I had a needle or some kind of medication. I literally could not function without medicating myself. It was that bad. Chronic pain, kidney stones. Renata dissolved the kidney stone naturally. She even had an MRI to prove that it was no longer there after an allopathic doctor said, no, there's no way to remove them. Degenerative disease. I had a chiropractor tell me that my spinal column here was going to merge together over time, and if I didn't see him 3 or 4 or 5 times a week for the rest of my life, I'm going to walk around like this. Bulging discs in the lower back. Surgery was recommended for Renia, so that would be the only way that she would get over bulging discs. Sleep disorder, insomnia, depression, anxiety, addiction, smoking, coughing, or coffee. All of these things we've been able to alleviate just by a simple methodology of detoxification. It's that simple. Let's see, tissue regeneration. So Renia was hit by a car while riding a bike about 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Here's the x-rays, okay? Do you want to talk a little bit more about this? I'll go point it.
Yeah, so basically, I ended up in the hospital, and then they told me that I need to have a surgery, because without the surgery, I'm not going to heal. I'm going to be, limping. I'm going to do all kinds of different stuff. They told me, like, basically, I'm not going to be able to function. Yeah.
This is the demonstration you did for us.
Yeah. Yeah. So I said, thank you. I have enough trauma for today. I'm not going to proceed with any surgery. I know how to heal this in a natural way. And then thank you for the surgery. So, that doctor was pretty nice, was young and kind of interested. So he says, so how are you going to do this? I said, just with simple, diet and herbs, and that's it. He says, really? You can heal it? I said, yeah, I can. So later on, I was, referred to the specialist, right? And that specialist was showing all kinds of different stuff, what's going to happen. And he tried to put us, in the scare mode that, tomorrow is the last day, because, if you're not going to do that, all kind of, weird things going to happen to you. And
if we didn't get her surgery in 24 hours, that was it. She can't get surgery anymore, right? I could do the walk that he was demonstrating again. And then he left us in the room for 45 minutes to let us sweat it out. and we're just looking at each other like, let's get him back in here, right? So the scare tactics, right? Allopathic medicine scare tactics. It's what we're living under right now.
Yeah, and I was probably the first person who says no to him, and he didn't know how to react. Okay, he didn't. Okay, like his ego was a little bit too over exaggerated. But anyway, they asked me to come back after 5 weeks to do another, X-ray, and here's the X-ray after 5 weeks. So the bone healed completely. Okay, without any surgery and anything, and then they keep us hour in the room before anybody show up, and he actually sent different doctor because he didn't know even what to say. And then he finally came and he says, well, is it too late for the surgery? And I was like, oh, hold on, what are you talking about? And I couldn't even straighten my thinking. And then I said, well, thanks God. So I'm walking without limping, without any problems, and I was able to heal this on a very natural way. So that's how simple and easy it is.
Yeah. So the hospital told us there's not enough blood flow in this portion of the knee right here. Okay. The surgeon said the same thing. They said nobody heals correctly from this type of breakage. You're not going to have enough blood flow. Okay. Well, somehow we achieved blood flow. Okay. So how we did it was primarily raw food, primarily fruit, herbal, high protein, herbal superfoods. So high amino acids where we want to get our proteins from. Poultices, right? Comfrey poultice every night on the knee. And 5.5 weeks later, she was walking just fine. Very little rehabilitation needed. So this is just one instance. We're going to show you another instance that's a little bit more fantastic a little bit later on. But this is an example of regeneration. We can regenerate whatever we want to if we put the work in. Okay. I spent hours in the kitchen while Renata was on the couch juicing, literally hours every night juicing when I went to work, so she would have juice. We've got a juice, so we're using fruit. And in the green drinks, we've got a garden, so we pull all of our stuff from the garden. So that's we're going to move into now. What are we? Are we omnivores? Are we carnivores? Are we herbivores? Well, we're coming from the line of thinking that we're actually frugivores, right? Put us in the jungle against all the wild animals. What are we going to do? Are we going to go fight a tiger, or are we going to go climb a tree and try to find a piece of fruit or a nut? We could make a weapon, but you're still not going to want to go attack the tiger. Plus, go eat yourself a steak, right? And tell me how you feel after 3, 4, 5 hours. And then go eat 15 pieces of oranges or 15 apples and tell me how you feel. You're going to have a lot more energy. You're going to digest the fruit a lot quicker. And you're going to feel a lot better, right? So I know everybody in here has had a steak. How do you feel after a steak? Yeah. Does it give you energy? No. No, it doesn't. Proteins are not energy creations. They're builders, right? So a lot of people really struggle with this notion. Meat's not good for us, right? But we're told that it is. But we're always going to have this push and pull with meat and protein, and doctors saying, oh, you got to have your protein, it's for energy. But I don't ever remember having a piece of chicken or a steak and feeling like I want to go out and build a house or lay a floor down or paint a ceiling, We're even discussing right now before this talk. It's like, do you want to go get something to eat? I'm like, no, it's going to make me tired, right? Because 90% of what we're putting in our body is not digestible by a human being, right? That's why we feel tired after we eat. That's why we need a 3 o'clock coffee after we eat, because we're not getting energy, right? The energy is being sucked from us through digestion. We're trying to digest something that our body is not capable of digesting. So this is where we're coming from. Okay, so we believe that we're frugivores. Oops. I was looking for my pointer. There it is. So let's just take a look. So here's an omnivore. his mouth. Now let's look at an herbivore and a frugivore and a human. Who are we closely resembled? We certainly don't look like a carnivore or an omnivore. But herbivores and frugivores, I think that the physiology, those things are a little bit more close to what we are. This is kind of a bad image. You probably can't read any of this, but omnivores have intestines 3 times their body length. Humans and frugivores have intestines 9 times their body length. So imagine sticking a piece of dead raw meat into your belly. It's not digesting properly. So if there were any nutrients in a dead piece of meat, which there probably aren't, right? They're not being absorbed properly because now the meat is sitting in your intestines, rotting, right? So now we're trying to digest and absorb rotting meat, right? And we wonder why we have so many health problems. Renia, do you have anything to add on that? Do you have anything to add? Nope. Okay. Acid alkaline food forming chart. You want to take this one?
So basically, this is the pH chart of the food, of some, even emotions and stuff, because everything is, it's energy, right? Everything is vibration. So basically, whatever we are eating, our, Western diet, we're eating from the left side of the graph, okay? So everything is on acidic side. Okay. On top of everything, whatever you are cooked, the chemistry is changing, and it's even if you have a broccoli, which is raw broccoli, has about 12,000 angstrom, this is the energy. And then when you cook this broccoli, and it's alkaline, right? After when you cooked, broccoli has only 2,000 to 3,000 angstrom, which is losing a lot. And on top of everything is already acidic, on acidic side, because that's the chemistry. This is how chemistry is working. So even if people eating, cooked, veggies, they're thinking they're doing themselves favor, but not actually. That's the truth. So when you're gonna look on the right side of the graph, I know that this is probably too small, but everything what you're supposed to eat is from the right side of the chart, which is fruits, veggies, and then positive vibes, like being, thankful, grateful, love, peace. This is very high vibrational emotions. So that's what you would like to be on the right side.
So the reason why we're showing this chart, acid alkaline food forming chart, is because our lives are based in an acidic medium, right? We're eating meats, we're eating processed food, we're living under fear, right? Look, everything that's over here under acid, right? Disease is acidosis. We're talking about acidosis. The only thing that can overcome acidosis is alkalinity, right? So we want to pull the body back away from being acidic, right? So we can pull all that acid and all the toxins out. And then we want to bring the body back into balance. So this is where we're living. This is our world right here. Right? All we have to do is turn on the TV, go out to dinner somewhere. And it's real easy to plop some acid into our bodies. Smoke cigarettes, drink booze, eat a steak and a potato. But once we start moving over to this side of the chart, your life will change. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Okay. Now it's not easy. This is part of the problem, is when we've created our illness. I know nobody in here wants to hear that, right? Everyone needs to take a look in the mirror. When you go to detoxify, this is a process of you staring yourself in the mirror and saying, you screwed up because you created your illness, right? Now I got to fix it. I can't fix it for you. I can give you all the tools to fix it, right? But guess who's got to do the work? It's not us. We've already done the work. That's why we're here. We can help. We can help heal. And that's why we're here. All these gadgets here. Why is this important? Well, we touched on a little bit, right? So we got to digest our food, right? If we're putting food into our body, that our bodies can't digest, what kind of utilization or absorption are we going to get from that, right? So we're going to try to digest a piece of meat, even if you go out and have a piece of sushi, right? It's raw, that's great, but guess what? You're probably going to be loading yourself full of parasites, okay? Number one, parasites are one of the root causes of illness, okay? Now you got to try to absorb a dead, rotting piece of carcass in your belly that's going to sit there for days, right? There's no more nutrients in there. You're absorbing a dead carcass, right? Just think about it. Now you got to try to utilize what you just absorbed from a dead carcass. What do you think your body's going to do? It's got to do something different than what it normally would, because it's like, what is this, right? Because we've got an acid-ash form of food in our body. Now that's where calcium comes into play, starts leaching out of the bones, right? Swelling, edemas, inflammation starts happening because the body's like, damn, what is this? I got to protect myself. Right, now we got to eliminate it. Whew. I don't know if I want to talk about that, but now you got to try to eliminate that dead carcass, right? That's not the best part. And then, speaking of elimination, this is going to segue into the next part. And what this detoxification process is all about. It's all about moving the lymphatic system and filtering through your kidneys, eliminating through your kidneys, moving the lymphatic system. Lymphatic system dumps into your kidneys, and then you should see sediment in your urine. Again, something totally opposite of what we've been taught. So you want to take that?
Yeah, so unfortunately, allopathic society are, their way of thinking and their way of, actually doing stuff, it's completely opposite what we're going to tell you. Because, when you're going to go to the doctor would like to see clear pee, right? And then, no, we would like to see sediment, as much as sediment you can get. But most of the people, if you're going to go and do the test tomorrow morning and leave the jar for 24 hours, check the next day, we're not going to have any sediment. And that's the problem. Because, we're built in very simple way, okay? So basically, how our body is working, you have you eating some food, right, for getting energy, right? So eat food whatever is giving you energy. That's the first, okay? Cooked food is not a good source of energy. But for example, raw fruits, they have a lot of energy. Raw veggies even have a lot of energy as well. And that's what our body is designed to digest and properly digest, right? So how our body is eliminating all of the acid, toxins, and cellular metabolic waste through the kidney, okay? So kidney is a main eliminative organ for our lymphatic system, which is lymphatic system is basically sewer system, okay? The same like you have in your house, okay? You have some waste, you need to eliminate this somehow, right? So the one organ, primary organ, is kidney. When your kidney are not filtering, that means that if you're not eliminating, that means that you're accumulating, okay? And this accumulation of acid and toxicity, it's making you sick, okay? Sick. It's making all of the diseases, okay? Which is no diseases, by the way. This is just imbalance of your body, that's it. Lymphatic system is 4 times bigger than your blood system, which is blood system is your kitchen, which is all of the goodies are coming with the blood. It's delivered to every single cells within your body, okay? This is how our body is working. So basically you want to have sediment in your pee. And a lot of people are working on getting the kidney filtration for sometimes weeks, okay? You need to put a lot of work to get back your kidney filtration, okay? If you have some kidney, that you get some genetic weakness on your kidney, that might take you even longer, okay? If your kidney are okay, genetically speaking, you're gonna get this faster. So it's few ways how to get the kidney filtration. For example, dry brushing, castor oil packs, sauna, and oh yeah, hot, cold, like showers, for example. And what we do personally, we're going to the sauna, dry sauna, of course. I'm not recommending wet sauna because, you don't know what kind of water they're using, if that's filter water or not. When it's with chlorine and all of the other crap, you basically gonna absorb through the skin all of those things. So dry sauna is the best. And then, so you need to make sure that your kidney are filtering. And why we're saying that proteins are not good for you? Because proteins, animal proteins, are actually shutting down the kidney filtration. So more, animal proteins you're gonna eat, less kidney filtration you're gonna have. Because look, before, our grandparents, they didn't eat that much meat. They didn't eat that much animal products at all because there wasn't available. Simply, there wasn't available. So right now you're gonna go to the store and you have all kinds of different meat. What do you want today? We used to eat meat like a few times a day, actually, like every day, sometimes a few times a day, because that's what we get used to. That's what we've been told, right?
Yeah. So I used to work out a lot with a coworker. I would wake up, I'd eat 3 or 4 hard-boiled eggs. Then at lunch, I'd eat 3 or 4 more hard-boiled eggs, along with a turkey sandwich. And then I'd have a mid-afternoon snack, probably a protein shake. And then I'd come home and we'd have some Polish blood sausage or kielbasa, something like that. By the end of the day, I'm probably 100 to 150 grams of protein every single day. Okay? I cannot tell you the amount of back pain that I experience. Now, back pain is typically associated with the lower lumbar. But what it actually is your kidneys are inflamed, pushing up against your spine, right? Because they cannot eliminate anything because the proteins are shutting them down. So that's where your back pain is actually coming from. It's coming from your kidneys, okay? So once I stopped doing that, my chronic back pain disappeared. It's that simple, right? Stop eating 150 grams of protein a day, right? But most bodybuilders, that's what they're doing. I was up at, I was 220 pounds. Right? My goal was to get big. I was growing out of my clothes, but the back pain that was becoming excruciating, I couldn't function anymore. So we stopped eating meat. We stopped eating meat. We stopped eating dairy. Stopped drinking coffee. Stopped smoking cigarettes, all in the same day. Yeah. Imagine our household. Huh? One other thing I think that's important to mention here is blood pressure. Okay, your systolic and diastolic numbers here is actually measuring your adrenal and your kidney function. So when you go to the doctor's office, you're only getting measurement on one arm, right? But what you should be doing is you should be taking your blood pressure on both arms because that's going to tell you how your kidneys and adrenals are functioning. They're going to be different numbers, right? Because you've got 2 sides of your body. Left kidney is filtering out the left side. The right kidney is filtering out the right. So for me, most of my pain is experienced on the left side of my body, and that's because I've got weaker blood pressure numbers for my kidneys and adrenals on that side. And my eyes correspond with that type of pain and suffering. Okay? You have anything to add to that?
Yeah, so the perfect blood pressure, no matter what they told you, is 120/60. Okay, and the range, okay range is from 120 to 130 and 60 to 70. You would like to be in this range, okay? That's the healthy kidney and healthy adrenals, okay? A lot of people on the beginning has very low blood pressure. That means that their kidney and adrenals are weak, and that's why it's showing, lower blood pressure. I used to have blood pressure sometimes 90/50 something, okay? And when I go to the doctor for checkup or something, they were like, how you're not sleeping? You have so low blood pressure. How are you functioning? Because they couldn't, even, They were saying, it's too low. I said, so what are you supposed to do? And they said, oh, you can drink coffee. Okay, thank you. That's the solution, right? No, and then after years, I actually start.
Get in there. So when her blood pressure was that low, she could hardly get out of bed. Her back pain was so bad. I would have to help her out of bed.
Yeah. So after years, because when you're suppressing something, when your body is giving you, some sort of clues, like you have low blood pressure, so take care of that, and you're not doing anything, so the low blood pressure are becoming to be high blood pressure, with years, okay? Meaning even high blood pressure is still low blood pressure, but it's showing that it's high blood pressure. So if you are having any problems with your blood pressure, you need to fix your kidney and adrenals. And that's, you're never going to have, problems with your blood pressure anymore. And then on this slide, you can see some, urine samples and sediments, and then some flakes, some mucus. So that's what you would like to see. More you're going to see in your pee, better to you.
When you embark on these detoxification processes, it's an extremely spiritual endeavor. You see things come out of your body that you didn't even know existed. You'll literally start taking pictures because, like, oh my God, honey, you'll never look at this. And it's disgusting. It's disgusting. So, if everything's functioning properly, you want it to look like this. This is what allopathic medicine says your urine should look like right here, right? And so, what are we seeing in a lot of these COVID patients? Kidney failure, right? Kidneys are shutting down. Okay, next.
Okay, so here a little bit more about lymphatic system. So everything is connected, okay? And like I said, lymphatic system is 4 times bigger than blood system, okay? Which is your sewer system is bigger than your kitchen because it needs to have a capability to remove those waste, okay? Even when your cells eating, they having waste as well. So it's called metabolic, waste, and it's acidic. Okay, so even if you trying to be the best person in the world, having the best diet, doing everything like you're supposed to do, your body is producing actually acid on its own. Okay, and if you are able to eliminate this, you're golden. When your kidney are filtering, it's good. If you're not, that means that sometime in the future, you're going to get some disease, okay? So, yeah, so this is basically slide showing how the lymphatic system is working, okay, through the body. And then yeah, so it's very similar to our sewer system in the house. It's not much different. And then, like we mentioned before, we are also iridologists, meaning what is iridology? So the practice of studying the iris of the eye to look for deficiencies in the body. So basically based off, here's a map for iridology chart. So basically every single dot in your iris is connected to some systems or to some organs. Okay, so and it's like mirror view, left and right. So it's very similar with some exceptions. Like for example, spleen is only on one eye. So basically, based off those pictures, I can tell what kind of constitution, meaning genes you have. If you have good genes or you have a little bit weak genes. Okay, I can tell, like here, for example, right? Which organs are weak, which system are weak, what kind of lymphatic stagnation do you have, if you have acute, subacute, or you have maybe chronic or degenerative, right? If you have any lymphatic stagnation, you would like to be on the first stage. You don't want to go, farther, because, lower you're going to go, that means more work you have, right? So also, so we need to go back a little bit, and then in reality, it's only two real colors of the iris. It's either blue or light brown. Everything else which you have different, that means that you have more lymphatic stagnation. Like this eye, you wouldn't say that it's blue, but it's real blue. Okay, if this person were gonna detox, like truly detox, this eye will gonna appear blue.
Well, let's just ask this question: does yellow and brown, and orange and rust color, is that an eye color that we're taught about in school? So where are these colors coming from? Right? How did it get there? I never heard about a yellow eye before, or a rust eye. The brightness here is a little off, but you can see when you go in, you can see a little bit of blue around here. So we've got sulfur here in the eye. We've got chronic lymph stagnation in the yellow part. That's the subacute. We've got red veins in the sclera that indicates high levels of acidosis. And if detoxed properly, you'll start to see a little bit of blue in that eye right there.
Yeah, so for example, when someone has a blue eyes, right, and then has, for example, subacute stage, okay, it has subacute stage of lymphatic stagnation, which is yellow. So what color are you gonna get when you mix blue with yellow? You're gonna get green, right? And then the same with brown eyes. When you have very heavy, lymphatic stagnation, you're gonna get basically, very dark, brown eyes. Okay. So here you can see, some skin ring. Okay. This is those, kind of whitish, circles in the eye. It's also chronic lymphatic stagnation, which appears here as a brown color. You have some lacunas, okay, which is Micah is showing. This is basically genetic weaknesses, okay? More lacunas you have, meaning that more genetic weakness is your body, okay? And this is also blue iris, okay? It's blue eyes. When this person will gonna detoxify, that's gonna be those eyes will gonna change blue. But we're gonna take a while because eyes cannot change sooner than 6 months, okay? And I never saw someone, turn eyes for different colors than, in 6 months even. It's taking longer. This eye is, of course, blue eye, right? Have a lot of whites in this eye. It's showing acute stagnation, okay? Also have skin ring, okay? Which is very dark, round around your eye. Meaning that you have a lot of toxin between your skin. Okay, so sauna, for example, would be the best. Sweating, you're gonna remove toxins from your skin. Also GI tract, it's kind of pretty healthy looking GI tract because, like I would say 99% of people has opposite GI tract, okay? Has very, degenerative stage. Also, we're seeing some nerve rings here. And constitution, meaning genes, are pretty strong because when you see those, light white fibers, They are very, close to each other. You don't see many lacunas. That means this person has pretty good genes. This eye, it's a blue eye as well. Imagine that this is possible. But has a lot of, lymphatic stagnation in the subacute stage, which is yellow color. This orangish thing is sulfur, which is sulfur is acid. Okay, you can get sulfur from any drug, like especially antibiotics. This is based, sulfur drugs, right? Constitution here is good. They also have some, nerve rings, which is nerve rings is strictly weak adrenals. Okay. Okay. We're running out of time.
This one. Let's just cover this one. This one here. This is breast cancer, right? Okay, so this person here, all right, you see this white, thick circle around the eye? That doesn't occur naturally in eyes. We've never been taught anything about that, right? That's a cholesterol ring. This person has got high cholesterol. That's what that indicates. This person is also a breast cancer patient. The breast in the left eye is located right here. This is called a degenerative stage. It's black. There's no life there. So that's being shown right here in the eye. So I just wanted to point that out. And then there's some malabsorption going in here within this eye. But I think this is the most telling thing in a lot of eyes is when you see something like that. It's like, well, how did that get there? What is that? What's that a sign of? Right? It's got to mean something. It does.
And you probably don't know, but why people has a high cholesterol? Cholesterol is the alkaline tool, so our body is using cholesterol to kind of balance acid. Okay, that's why people has higher cholesterol level, which is you're supposed to not treat the cholesterol itself. You're supposed to treat why the root cause of the problem, why you have higher cholesterol.
Okay, this is a patient that Renata's been working with, paraplegic. He went to the doctor, many doctors, and they said, don't bother coming back, you're never going to walk again. Poor kid, he's 27, right? Motorcycle accident, paralyzed. We took his picture here, 12/29/19, just last year, June 21. There's some differences that you can see here in the eye. For instance, all the stagnation that's happening right down in here. There's a lot less of it right here. You can see more of these, what we call nerve rings, because there's less stagnation up here in his head to brain area. Those are not becoming visible. Same thing down in here. There's less stagnation. So this kid is so determined to walk. He has been living off of fasting and 60-day fruit juice diets. So literally, all he's doing is 60-day watermelon diets, 60-day grapefruits or grape fast diets, and he's going back and forth. And that's all he's doing, plus fasting. And you can see what's happening in his eyes, right? He's been doing this for a year and a half, and you can see there's change, but there's still a lot of work. Now, we didn't have a picture of his eyes before the accident, so we don't know what his eyes look like prior, but we can see the work that he's been putting into it, right?
Yeah, so for him, it's a little bit harder to remove all of the lymphatic stagnation because he's not moving, okay? He's stagnant, okay? So he was paralyzed from waist down, okay? No feelings, nothing, zero, okay? And they told him, the doctors, that is no way in this planet Earth that he will be walking ever because they don't know how to do that. So basically he had, cut, the spine cord, right? So he needs to regenerate the whole neurological connections, okay? And he was able to do that, which is, you can see that he's moving. But because he was sitting on the wheelchair for so long, he lost all of the muscles, okay? So now he needs to rebuild the muscles. But he had the core issue. He can move, okay? When he can move, right now, he can work on muscles, okay? So he's in some kind of, rehabilitation mode. So he's gonna be walking. And that's how powerful is that what we do, in totally natural way, just the proper diet, proper elbow protocol, and you can fix everything. So neurological connections, rebuilding neurological connections is the hardest thing. So the cancer, all of the autoimmune things are, nothing.
Yeah, and we've been lied to about cancer. I don't know if anybody is buying into that, but cancer is one of the easiest things to actually fix in the human body. We've been sold a bill of goods. Billions of dollars going to the cancer industry and no cure yet. I'm calling bullshit on that. Thanks for your time, everybody. You can come booth 111 if you want to learn a little bit more and see how we can help you out. Thank you.